After a big day at Shartin for FWD Champions Day on Sunday, we're set for a big night at Happy Valley with 9 races on the programme on a Wednesday night. A very warm welcome to Racing to Win. I'm Andrew Lejeune. Glad to say I'm joined this week, as always, by form analyst Paul Lally and race caller Mark McNamara as well. Mark, back to Champions Day in a moment or so, but what have we got in store at Happy Valley on Wednesday? 9
races, as has become the norm, Andrew, at Happy Valley on Wednesday night. There's some big jackpots, which Paul will tell us about shortly. Some interesting runners going through. A couple of ex-South Africans having their first start as well. So 9 races. We kick off over the 2,200 metres again, this time for the Class 4 over the long trip.
Yeah, we'll get to those debutants in a moment or so as well. But as Mark alluded to, Paul, some decent jackpots to look forward to on Wednesday.
Yeah, there's 2 really good ones. The first one comes up in race 4, races 4 and 5. Is the first double trio. We don't really see too much of a jackpot in that bet type, but there's a $1.2 million one going into that. And of course, the 6 up. Now, there was a big jackpot going into last week. It was partially won, but $4.8 million still jackpotted through to this week, and expecting it to get up to $10 million. So it's a real decent jackpot for the 6 up win bonus this week.
It certainly is. We'll get into that in due course as well. Plenty to get through with the 9 races at Happy Valley. Before all that, though, let's look back on the weekend action. FWD Champions Day in our racing review. The big race of the day was the FWD QE2 Cup, an exultant runner-up last year. He went off as a short prize favourite, just looming up on the outside of his stablemate in Time Warp. It was a real war of attrition to the line, Mark.
It was, Andrew. They went to battle a long way out. This pair. Exultant made that mid-race move at about the 1,200, and Time Warp, he went with him. That's Playa del Puente on the rail. Furore Eagle Way is wider out, Paul, but they get to the 200-metre mark. Just there, briefly, Furore looked like he might have been going to make a race of it, but Zach Purton goes on to clean sweep every Group 1 in Hong Kong.
Yeah, well done to Zach too. And look, he did serve it up to Time Warp. They're turning for home and sort of around the back of the back straight. So, look, the horse is an iron horse. He's a genuine Group 1 horse, this horse. He's beaten some pretty good international horses over the years as well. So, a most deserved win from him, I thought.
It certainly was, yeah, and great to see Fiore back to something like his best as well, but real feather in Zach's cap with a clean sweep now of the Group 1s here in Hong Kong, and Exultant looking like champion stayer and champion middle distance horse again. Mr. Stunning bows out with a win at the very highest level here. Great win. Karis Teeton back on board.
Yeah, he turned back the years, didn't he, Mr. Stunning? He got the race run to suit. Athera, of course, he had that bleed and he dropped out, but look, he came through from the back, and it was a really good win from Mr. Stunning there, Mark, wasn't it?
It was. Karis had a field day. It was just a weird day, and then this battle up the stretch. Fantastic battle. Clearly hit the lead Southern Legend at the 200-metre mark, and the old champ has rallied, Paul, and it just simply came down to who got the head down right on the line, and it was that horse right there.
Yeah, and what a great season Vincent Ho's had as well. Most deserved for him. So, look, it was a really good race, and he went out on a shield, didn't he? Beauty Generation, he just got beaten on the bob on the day. So a really good run from both those two.
Yeah, it certainly was. But those are the big winners. Beauty Generation, still don't know what's happening with him. Mr. Stunning, though, does retire with that 3rd Group 1. Exultant doesn't move. Who are the other decent winners to take note of on the day, Paul?
I thought Computer Patch won well as well, and it was a nice win in the last, General's Delight. He was an expensive horse coming here, but he did manage to get his nose in front. And good old Chairman Lowe, he finally managed to get that win on the board as well. True Legend, another one of Karis Teeton's rides, he held on nicely there, and he went up 6.
All right, there you go. Those are the ratings changes as far as the weekend action is concerned. They were the big winners on the programme. We'll see if we can find you some more, though, with our horses to follow. All right, you guys have doubled up here. Same race. Talk us through this, Paul, if you want to go first, maybe.
Yeah, OK. You can see the horse in the white with the red cap, Or. Now, this horse, Or, he came with some really good form from overseas in the UK. And this was fresh up. He'd been up in Chung for over 1,200 metres. He's had a couple of runs here already. You'll see the best of this horse when he gets up to 16. I thought he hit the line really strongly there, mate.
And on the outside, Paul, in the pink cap is Biz Power in the 10 saddlecloth. He hasn't raced since February 2019 before this race. having his first start for Paul O'Sullivan, a long time away from the track. He's come from near enough to last and down the outside turning for home. He should, in essence, Andrew, only get better after a long break away from the track.
All right, there you go. 2 for 1. Relentless Me winning that race as well. A double on the day for Alfie Chan. It was a super afternoon for him. My horse, we're going back to Happy Valley last week. Green Envy is the horse. Now, he's only had a handful of starts for Casper fans, dropped back from the 14 to the 1200 metres, which you'd think, actually think he's probably looking for a little bit further, but the way he stays on here in the closing stages is Vincent Ho in the saddle. Firstly, he was about 90 to 1, something like that. He looks like a step up in trip will suit him again. I think he's slowly coming to hand. The horse finishing in third, in actual fact, Mark found this was his long shot of the night, was nearly 90 to 1 as well, and that was Happy winner. But the cat is out of the bag with him, but Green Envy, the horse to follow for me. All right, let's keep moving forward then. Happy Valley, Wednesday nights. We do have the 9 races to look forward to. We're back on the A course as well. We start the night with a Class 4 over the 2200 metres. And this is, we do get dropped back to Class 5 company. That's race number 2. So Giant Turtle is the first one that we look at. He'll roll forward, you'd imagine, from barrier number 7. Blinkers off Dragon Commander. Gala Knight, a 2-time winner over the 1800 metres. He was third last time out. Salto Olympico is a course and distance winner. Exaltation, they switched the blinkers for the visor. Good Days is also a horse that's won course and distance in the past. Happy Rocky, twice he's won 2200 metres. And down to Mr. Monty, close to a class drop. Light weight on his back, though. Switched the blinkers for the cheek pieces. Exaltation and Victory Vision are the horses, Mark, that have been up at Chungfa in the last month.
And the speed, Andrew, good to slow anticipated with Gala Knight the most probable leader here. Giant Turtle got surprisingly out of his ground last start. Crown Avenue can drop in behind the leaders. Mr. Monty likely to push forward under Alfie Chan. Good Days will be able to get a little closer than he has in recent starts. And Salto Olympico has been going back in shorter races, but has the ability to race closer at this 2,200 metres.
First time we're going to look at Gala Knight. The 2200 metres doesn't look like it's going to be a problem for him. He looks a real star, this horse. He should be on the pace. He'll get his opportunity. And he's been in pretty good form recently and has won at Happy Valley this season already. Salto Olympico, he's 1 from 1 over the 2200 metres over this course and distance. Blake centre board for this piece, and the horse does stride out nicely enough as well. So he looks fit enough to run a decent race. Once again, does Salto Olympico. And you have my word, look, he's out of terrible form at the moment. He's run last in his last few starts, or towards the back anyway. But the 2200 metres is the key for him, and he's a very fit horse coming into this as well.
Yeah, back to a right sort of rating for him as well. You have my word. Let's start off, though, with Good Days, who's our current favourite. Gala not far off, Giant Turtle and Mr. Monty also. But Good Days up in trip, as the rest of them are, but Good Days is already a course and distance winner. Yeah,
and look, he won really nicely. He ran really nicely here. He's won really well over the 2200 metres before. He's won off higher ratings. He's got Zach Purton, barrier 3. So I think it looks really good for Good Days. I think Gala Knight can run a bit of a race from the front, coming back to Happy Valley. So I'm taking both these two horses out of this race, Mark.
And that's Giant Turtle in the red cap, just in behind them there with the nose roll on. He gets a claim for Victor Wong, minus £5, but Good Days has been finishing off really well at the end of shorter races.
All right, if that wasn't enough to convince you about Good Days, here he is again, also running second. Bullish Glory, Exaltation, Gala Knight. And Happy Rocky, I thought he was worth a second look, maybe.
He's an old boy now, Happy Rocky, but he still runs really well. Well, you know he loves it at Happy Valley as well. Yeah, you can see Good Days here again. I thought Bullish Glory ran pretty well in this race. Coming back to Happy Valley is good for him as well, mate.
It is, and there's Good Days. He's still about fourth last on the fence there at the 200 metre mark. Above is off and gone, then they line up. Gala Knight's up to 2,200, so he's got an extra furlong to run than what he had in this race. King Prince running on, he's not there. Bullish Glory's poking through late as well. Good Days up along the rail, but Above had a street on them in that race, but as we've seen those last two replays, Andrew, Good Days just getting home really well. All right, I'm convinced, Paul. Good Days for me. What about you?
Yeah, I am as well, Andrew. I think Good Days can win this race. Well-rated horse, and he looks ideally placed for this race. So he's on top. I thought Gala Knight can run a bit of a race from the front. Bullish Glory coming back to Happy Valley. And Salto Olympico, you can't really write him off because he's 1 from 1 over the course and distance. 7, 4, 9 and 5 for me.
Same first three for me with number 7, Good Days on top. He has won over 2,200 metres off a racing 56 in Class 4. He's a 47 currently. Gala Night, my only worry is he didn't run out a strong 2,000 metres in that second replay we saw. He's got 2,200 metres to contend with on Wednesday night, but he has won at Happy Valley. Bullish Glory, he's suited by the distance, and he was running on at the end behind Above when he last raced over 2,200 metres at the Valley. That was just his 6th start at the track, and giant turtle with that weight claim for Victor Wong. He's a dual 2,200 metre winner in Class 3, and he won over 2,200 at Sha Tin as well. 7, 4, 9 and 1.
7 and 4, the cue for me as well there in the first event. Have included Happy Rocky, 2-time course and distance winner. He's also won over this trip up at Chung Fire as well, but that's another one there for the first.